It's going good. How you doing? It's good to be getting started here.
You guys started on the 10 in practice. I guess you had it for a few days now. Kind of, I guess, your observations of where these guys are at. Having the offseason, working on their own. Where are they at?
Well, I think we have a lot of real tough, talented kids, and we'll find out with a couple of them this weekend, and then we'll find out in Binghamton. But I think these guys are as ready to go as any team that we've ever had. It's got the potential of being a great team. I mean, you can see that just by who we have returning and with some of the new faces that are coming up. So we're real excited about the potential of this season. And well, I think it's just you take it one at a time. So it's not one or the other. They're both separate challenges in themselves. I mean, the BJC is exciting for us as a program just to see what can we do. And I think not only for our program, but even more for wrestling in the state of Pennsylvania. Can we sell out the BJC? I think we can. Pat says we can't. So I think we proved Pat wrong. So, but it's more of I think it's more of just a statement as a state in general, even more than just a Penn State. I mean, we have Pitt and Penn State going at it. Like right now, Iowa holds the record for the largest crowd, and that's not just a University of Iowa thing. I think it was actually when they were wrestling Iowa State. But it's like the whole state of Iowa, takes some pride in that, and I think Pennsylvania can do the same thing, and that's what I'm hoping that they do, and that the wrestling community and the Penn State community does to get behind the match. But it's a chance to see this team. It's not an easy thing to do right now with getting tickets into the Jordan or to Rec Hall. You get a chance to see David Taylor and Ed Ruth, two greats, not just Penn State greats, but college wrestling greats, and so anybody has a chance to get in there and see those guys at the BJC duel, and I believe people will take advantage of it, and unlike regardless of what Pat's saying, I think we can sell it out.
Along the lines of the earlier question, every team has its own intangibles, its own chemistry. What have you seen so far this
early stage? Well, we're real excited about this year. I think we'll find that out. But I think this is a very driven team. We have obviously great leadership in a lot of different ways. I think it's a close team. I mean, you're talking about guys that have been together for a while now. But we're going to find that out throughout the year. I mean, just like any other team, we got to make progress every match, and our focus has to be just get better and better, and enjoy being the best that we can be every chance we get to compete. And with that mentality, this team's going to score a lot of points.
You obviously won a lot as a wrestler yourself, and now as a coach. What keeps you going year after year to continue to win? What is your motivation? Do you ever feel full?
Well, I think it's you just want to. I mean, I don't think any coach or athlete is ever going to be satisfied. I mean, you always want to make progress. There's always areas you can improve. That's the mentality that I was taught growing up with my dad. Never be satisfied to be as good as you are, and it's the same mindset we want our guys to have. Whether they're, regardless of where they are, they can always get better, and that's the challenge, and that's what's exciting. That's why practice is fun every day, because you can always get better. There's so many different areas that you can improve on, technically, mentally. Some guys are trying to be leaders. That's a new thing for them. So, I mean, there's always something you can do better to contribute to the program and to make the program better, and that's I think that's it's got to keep you hungry.
You have two big losses from last year, Quentin, obviously, and Brian Pierce, 141. Looking through the lineup here, there is no 141 yet. What's your plan there for replacing Pierce?
Well, we're very deep at that weight class this year, as you can see. you go through the lineup there. I mean, we're 3 or 4 guys deep, so we'll let them wrestle and we'll figure out who the right guy is for that position. But we don't look at 149 as being a weight class that we don't feel that we're going to be competitive at. I mean, we feel like we're going to be very strong at 141.
Can Golubon go 41, Cael? Or is he 33?
I think he's 33 right now. There's definitely talk of him moving up in the future, but it's not. We're not ready to move him up right now. I mean, just looking at our team, I mean, it would be great to get both he and Conaway and Nico all in the lineup this year, but looking down the road, that's probably not the best move for our team.
Is there any thought given to redshirting Nico at all this season, or can you not do that with a guy who's in national finals back-to-back years coming into it?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, and obviously we've talked about that, and Nico's talked about that, but that's not the plan right now. I mean, we want to put our best team out there most of the time. I mean, there's exceptions based on the individuals and the team that we have, but I mean, this is a very competitive year this year. I mean, there's some very good teams, and I think we want Nico in our lineup.
What went into the decision for Ed Ruth to not go to the NWCA? Where's he at right now?
He's doing well. He's ready to go. That was just a coach's decision.
Just made recently? Was that this week or is that sort of
No, it was made several weeks ago. I think they just released it recently. I would guess because Ruth probably sells tickets, so they didn't. But yeah.
Cael, can he get any better?
Can he get any better, Ed? Well, he can always get better. He wants to be an Olympic champion, and he's going to have to get better to be an Olympic champion. He's going to have to do things a little differently. His technique's got to improve in some areas. I mean, he found that out a little bit this summer, but he's definitely a guy who, looking at what he's done so far, it's nothing short of amazing in his career in the 3 years. But yeah, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and he's a guy who he likes to compete, and he competes every day in practice. I mean, there's a lot of reasons he's as good as he is, but one of the reasons is because he works hard and he's competitive, and a competitive person's always trying to get better.
Cael, Bradford has been the 141 fights. Did he start this year, or are you set on redshirting?
We are not set on anything at this point. I mean, we're gonna most likely wrestle our best team this year, and if Bites is doing very well, had a very good redshirt year last year, and is one of those kids that we're real excited about. Works real hard, just a tough, hard-nosed kid, and he's going to be very good. But we're also going to wrestle our best guy. I mean, we have Nate Morgan's at 41 this year. He's been out. He was out last year. He got hurt his first match, I believe, against West Virginia. He tore his knee. So we've got some solid candidates in that weight class that are going to compete there.
Is the bigger turnover part of the process of setting the lineup?
Yeah, I think that's more of an ideal situation for us. And we haven't really been able to hit an open in the past where, this year we obviously are going to. But, we want to see our guys competing against outside competition. But that, setting a lineup's always, the process always continues. We're trying to get our best team ready for March. So, but we have to decide early, obviously, who's going to wrestle, and we'll play around with that. We have some solid flexibility with some good depth in those weights.
A couple of schedule changes this year, other than the obvious because states don't invite that decision.
The no interest squad, that's just something we've played around with that for years, and we always had one to set the lineup for our first dual meet. This year we don't need that. We have an open tournament that we're going to hit that can help us set our lineup. So that's kind of the reason there. And then and it's just always a little strange, you have a public wrestle-off it's a little awkward at times. You're trying to build a team, but then at the same time, you're going to have them compete against each other. And the other one, the Nittany Lion Open, is just that's just this year. We wanted to get up to Boston, and that was about the only time we could go. So we're going to get the right amount of matches in, and that's just something what we're playing with. We obviously like that tournament. It's also taxing on our guys and the staff and everybody else because we're running the tournament. Our guys roll out the mats after a volleyball game usually, and they get done around midnight the night before. Then they're back to weigh in. So there's just some things we're just playing with the idea.
Can you talk about that Boston trip a little bit and the way they were going to cut their program for this year?
Well, I'm not actually sure where Boston is. It was just a situation where when we heard they were in trouble and possibly being dropped, and we just said, was there anything we can do? And the coach said, well, can you come wrestle us? And so we said, okay, yeah. So we've been told. I've been told. I don't know how whether it's true or not, but that they'll sell out their arena for that. Which would be a great thing for Boston. Obviously.
A lot of coaches that have won back-to-back championships always says it gets harder year after year. Would you echo those sentiments?
Well, I think it's different. I think every year is different. You have a different group of kids. You have a different set of strengths and weaknesses, and it's just a little different. The first one, you guys are real hungry and you want to do something they've never done before. It's just a different challenge. You got to have the right people in place, I think, to continue to win and to stay motivated. But we're obviously, we want to keep getting better. Our goal as a staff is just to make sure Penn State's the best place to wrestle in the country. That's what we're trying to do, and we want to make sure our guys are competing the right way and doing things the right way, and the wins and the losses will take care of themselves.
So the guys that have won multiple championships, is it hard? Do you find it hard to keep that motivation going? Do you have to have different motivation techniques every year?
I think each individual is a little different, but for the most part, I don't think we really have, many guys that are, if any, that are completely satisfied with, the way things have been going, or the way things ended even last year. So I think there's a lot of motivation for our guys. Everyone wants to win the national championship, and then after you win, you want to dominate, and so Ed Ruth, a guy who got a major decision in the last two NCAA finals, which is remarkable, to say the least. And but now he's looking down the road. He's got a tough weight class, and if he wants to be a world and Olympic champion, and he's got to continue to make progress, and so. And we need his leadership, and we need him to continue to score those points. So, I don't see motivation as being an issue for our program.
Is 285, is it fair to say that that's Boston's spot to lose, or is there still a competition?
I'm sorry.
285.
Oh,
Is it fair to
285.
say that's Boston's spot to lose, or is that still a competition?
Oh, it's a competition. Every weight class. Those guys were back and forth last year, we ended up just making that coach's decision to wrestle Lawson at the end. But yeah, they're both very capable, and we also have Nick Regier who's back. Was hurt a lot of last year, but he's right in the mix as well. So we're excited to see them compete. It's been a while since either of them competed, or either of the three. So we'll see where they're at. Just like you guys, we want to see them compete. We see them in practice all the time, but we want to see them out on the mat.
Morgan, as a true freshman, maybe had a pretty solid true freshman season, but kind of dealt with some injuries and redshirted last year. What do you think he got out of that redshirt year, and now he's got to kind of step in? Would you say that's his spot there, considering the background he has and the experience he has now?
Yeah, I think he had a solid year, redshirting year, and he's a guy that we expect him to be able to dominate. Just like our other big guys or big guns. He's definitely a guy we're looking for to be a big gun for us, a guy that scores a lot of points, and he's more than capable of that. He's a lot bigger this year than he was. We asked a lot out of him to step up as a true freshman and wrestle. It was, just we were looking down the road and looking at the lineup and thought that'd be the best way to, for our team, and he was willing, and he had some great wins and was very close. but he learned a lot, and I think he's a guy that, with that experience, he should be. I believe he's planning on winning the national tournament this year. I mean, he better be.
You tweeted about Andrew and Dylan's shoulder injury over the offseason. I guess twins share a lot of things.
Yeah, I guess.
Their progress.
I think they're ahead of schedule. Anytime you have a major shoulder surgery, it just takes time. But they've both been doing a great job, and they've been. I think they're a month ahead of schedule. I don't know, something like that. But they won't be wrestling here for a while still. Maybe December, January.
Some of these incoming freshmen that wouldn't make the final starting lineup, what can they bring inside the room, whether they do make it or whether they're not one of the regular starters?
So you're referring to like true freshmen, or? Well, we have a solid group of true freshmen that are. I mean, this is a great time to be young at Penn State. You have guys like David Taylor and Ed Ruth and Nico and Matt Brown, and guys to learn from and to watch and to train with, and that's exactly what they're doing. Guys like Matt McCutcheon and there's a whole group. Cody Law and Garrett's doing very well. So I mean, we've got they're really taking advantage. I mean, there's one thing to redshirt just because that's what you do, and then there's the opportunity to use that year to get ready to win, and that's what our guys are doing now.
A lot of scheduling changes this year. I know Cody thinks we compare a lot of that. You
Yeah.
talk about his efforts setting up all these different BJC guys for all the days.
Yeah, scheduling's always a challenge. Getting as many home matches as we do. That's Cody does a great job with that. I mean, we just kind of put it on him, and he finds a way. So, but even getting a match in the BJC was, it wasn't looking like it was going to happen just because of scheduling. Getting over there with men's and women's basketball was very difficult, and ultimately the only match that we could essentially get over there was the one that we got. So we'll take it and see what we can do. But scheduling's it's a big deal. I mean, getting Oklahoma State to come in here is great for our program. I know that's the most talked about duel that we have here this year, and with their history, and they have always had a lot of tough Pennsylvania kids in their lineup. So I'm sure they're very eager to get here. Also, they want people to see them in the state of Pennsylvania, but scheduling's a big deal. A lot goes into it, not just lining up matches, but you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan that works for your team and the team that you have now. Every year's different. So Coach Cody does a very good job with the strategy and also just getting matches, which is what we need. We try to keep a consistent flow. Also, if you look around the country and you see different schedules, they'll have a 2-month break without a home duel, or a month and a half, and it's hard to build a consistent following that way. But Coach Cody's been able to keep it fairly consistent, and 8 home duels is that's a first as far as I know for us.
Is there added pressure? Like, you're the 3-time defending national champ. You're like the big event on everybody else's schedule. Is that edgy? A little more edgy, over? I mean, how do you go about all that, making everybody's best shot?
Well, I think it's exciting. I think last year it was the same type of situation everywhere we went. I think with the exception of Illinois, our dual meet at their place was their biggest crowd. So that's exciting. I think it speaks more just to the way our guys are wrestling. People want to, you get a chance to go watch these guys compete. But I don't think we're not really worried too much about getting guys' best shots. I mean, that's what we expect. And usually if somebody's just trying to prove something and that they wouldn't do with everyone they compete against, that's a fleeting motivation there. So it's not something that we're really concerned about. You got to be aware of it, obviously, like you're saying, but that's we'd rather be in that situation than not.
The offense already go is that Paul Rath and English, will they take over at 49 now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they got a Well, I don't know if we have some other guys in those weight classes that are tough. 49. Fry's in there, and he's wrestling well and had a lot of success. But yeah, they're both seniors and had some great wins throughout their careers. So I mean, they'll do a great job. And they're planning on being the starters also. So I mean, who do I work out with? That guy over there in the blue that's strapped on the wall. Yeah, I mean, I'm just whoever I can. Brown, just progress. He's he's one of those guys that's real consistent. He keeps working. He does a great job, and he's continuing to do the same thing. You don't get 4.0s and and do what he does with the ROTC program and have the success that he's had without being consistent and just focused and with a clear purpose.
Do you see a situation where Ruth and Cael probably going to be more comfortable possibly here in the room with the team and now that we see guys instead of managing to sort of monitor that, make sure they're still free?
Well, we want our guys to pick the best partner they can find every day, and we've got a lot of really tough partners here right now. I mean, those guys training with each other is that's what it takes. That's why we go to the trouble of having even a Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. But even in addition to that, just the guys on the team right now, it's you look like in the finals last year. I think we had Taylor and Brown and then Ruth and Quentin all in a row. There's a reason for that. When they're training with each other every day, it's pretty common to see if somebody's good at one weight, they're usually good at the weight below or the weight above because they're training together. So we've got a lot of great training partners, and that's about the best thing I think we can do for these guys is make sure that they have that.
You do the Boston trip again, or not again, you do the Boston trip in Utah Valley, and try to help other people. Do you think college sport is small? Growing, some people would not say that.
Well, I think you have more teams that think they can win the national championship right now than we've ever had in the sport of college wrestling. To me, that's strength, right? I mean, we still have programs that are struggling, and usually that they don't have people supporting their program. They don't have people watching their matches, and the alumni aren't connected and giving back, and there's always reasons or excuses for that. But overall, I think that wrestling's growing. The TV coverage is growing. ESPN continues to do more and more, and they wouldn't be doing that if people weren't watching. So I think with the ROTC programs, you see a lot of that where it kind of looks like maybe the rich are getting richer, but I think it's also helping. I just think of the programs. There's a lot of programs that think they can win the national championship right now, and that think maybe not necessarily this year, but that they think they have all the tools to be successful to win, and that's a good thing. And I don't think that's. I mean, if you look at the history of college wrestling, not a whole lot of teams outside of just a few have been successful. So I think that's a very good sign for the sport.
Time for one more, Cael.
Anybody really stand out to you so far in terms of training over the summer and into this short bit of practice here? Anybody really stood out to you?
Well, I think we'll see that, as they compete. But I think all of our guys have gotten better. I think our lightweights have had a very good summer, and I think we'll see that. I think Conway had a great summer. I think he was here about every day. We had to send him home. Gulabon had a great summer. We're real excited about the team. I mean, this team's going to be very fun to watch. You go up. We have 10 solid weight classes, and we have 10 guys that are, maybe not quite 10, but we're close to 10 as far as guys that are planning on winning, and that's a good thing. All right. Thanks, guys.